Test, test. Hi. And hello to everyone. We're live. Welcome, hello and welcome to another match in muSe's 2v2 Autumn Control Tournament. Yep. Exactly. Quick disc. Exactly. I'll bring up the tournament tree so we can see exactly what's going on. Quick disclaimer: I announced it as a finals, but I inadvertently baited all of you, and by all of you I mean I think it's Dizon currently. Ah no, we've got more people. Nice. I baited you. It's just a semi-finals and not a final. Yeah. So it's a lower bracket semi-final. Hellgore versus Potato Grindset. And that will be the decider who will play muSe, and yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, guests today, of course, we have Divide, who finished a very quick dinner. Glad you made it. And yeah, everything for the viewers. Exactly. That is completely correct. I also started preparing the stream 10 hours ago. I prepared memes, jokes, laughs. I asked Bill Gates if he wants to join and explain why the nanobots haven't started working yet, and so on. Yeah, exactly. They are formulaic and predictable. Oh fuck! I think people can't hear you. Just a second. Yeah, shit. I was talking to Divide the whole time. Okay, now they test. Can you talk again?
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, sorry. Divide
so
was.
they didn't hear my expert opening.
Yeah. Do you want to do it again?
How much money am I going to get for doing it again?
You have to pay me actually. Damn.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so guests, Divide is here, and later News might join us. And of course, I asked Bill Gates. He hasn't answered yet, for no reason.
And yeah, I don't think he's too busy lately.
Yeah. He's programmed the whole Corona program, and then he doesn't have to do anything anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the reason why his wife left him.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, she was anti-vaccine, and Bill Gates was pro-vaccine. So yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, man.
Facts right here. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2-on-2 semi-finals of the lower brackets. It will be Team Daddywan and Hellgore against Tatzi and Gugli, otherwise known as the Helldads versus the Potatoes, or Potato Grindset for that matter. The winner of this round will face off muSe and Cossacks in the finals of the lower bracket, and whoever wins that match will end up fighting League-Sac, that is Divide and Leagueman 1, for the very high regarded title of 2-on-2 winner.
Yep, a very interesting match. I think we've seen Helldads rise through the ranks. They did the same as League-Sac, and I want to see how far they can go.
Yeah. And to my knowledge, the match could have been played earlier this week, but the Helldads decided they needed more, they wanted some more training.
Which is a completely normal thing to do, of course, during a tournament.
Yeah. Obviously.
It's how every tournament runs.
Yeah. But I'm curious to see how that training worked out for them.
Yeah.
It might be well beneficial to their advantage.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna assume they watched demos, they analyzed them, and adjusted their strategy accordingly. So they should be beating.
I've also heard rumors that they hired a mental coach and a strategy coach.
Yeah.
So it's looking very professional so far for the Helldads.
Interesting, interesting. Do we know who the mental
Pioneers of the
coach is?
scene. No. They're keeping it's secret.
Ah, damn.
I mean, you know that's how professional the Helldads are.
Man, they're so professional.
Yep. They are the first Vertex team to do so. Oh,
Amazing.
here we go. Gugli joins the server and immediately trash talking. What up, ladies?
Yeah, everyone
Yeah,
gets serious suddenly.
Yep, he got wind of the mental coach and the strategy coach, and now he's trash talking already. That's how it goes. It looks like the players are warming up for now. Just some casual duels, seeing get the feel of it. And interesting to see is that Daddywan is using staff so far. Maybe that's where the practice went into.
Gotta quickly adjust some volumes. Okay. I hope everyone has good sound. I've done some test recordings, but I'm gonna keep claiming I'm a noob.
Another good tip to have good sound is turn your volume on.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best tip I can give you.
It's a good one.
We
Yeah.
have someone joining the channel. Good afternoon.
Ah. Hello, muSe. How are you today?
It's a mystery guest who's not speaking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
give me a sec, sorry.
gave away the mystery. Yeah,
I'm alright.
Nice. How was your shift at the penny farthing manufactory?
Yeah, it was good. Many penny farthings were made. Sorry, I just need to quickly sort some things out, then I'll be 100% with you.
It's not very professional to jump into the stream and not be prepared, man. You should take an example out of me and Leekman.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
so much prep work.
Yeah, well, I know you've been writing sort of essays in preparation for this.
Yes.
But yeah, nice.
So are all the players ready then?
I think they're still warming up, checking stuff out.
The
Cool.
players are online. I think they are warming up, and whenever they're ready, we can start the first match.
Great.
Gonna see if I
How
find
your
some.
weekend's been?
That's very professional to speak about this on the stream.
Yeah, gotta
I
have
think
some
it's-
preamble
Yeah,
chat.
good filler before the match start.
Exactly.
Like- Should I give some details about the day that was going that I had yesterday?
Well, that's
Huh?
too much.
No, I was probably slightly OCT. I was thinking more general stuff. But yeah, I think this match is going to be good because the teams are pretty equal in skill level.
Yeah,
Well, I think a lot of our final matches are going to be like that.
Yep.
We had a very close series the other week, and these guys, I think, are quite evenly matched as well. So it'll be interesting to see
yeah, I think so
who comes
too.
out on top.
We already talked about how Helldads rose through the ranks, similar to LeagueSec, and I think our match was considered an upset win as well, and perhaps Helldads can do the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots of upsets have happened this tournament, and that's great to see in a 2v2. It's so different from 3v3s, because it relies much more on team play than 3v3s, in my opinion. Because you have less people,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
and one mistake can cost you the game, where in 3v3s you can still bounce back even after a couple of mistakes. And it depends on what time frame it happens. In the start of a match, you can obviously bounce back, because anything can happen. The points they go to the one team then to the other team. But the longer the match takes and the closer you get to the end, each mistake can be very vital. And I feel for 3v3s it's less vital because the point difference doesn't change that quickly.
Yeah, I think the mentality is really important, and which teams are well practiced and have taken it suitably seriously as well. It comes across quite clearly, I think.
Yeah, speaking
There's
of
no room
taking...
for, there's
Sorry?
no room for sort of being relaxed, you know, it doesn't really help.
Yeah. Speaking of taking it serious, we've already discussed how the Helldads, they hired a mental coach and a strategy coach for their match.
Yeah, was his name was Divide, wasn't it? The guy that they hired.
It was a secret.
And they paid him, I think, wasn't it €5 and a cigarette packet?
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
some advice. So I wonder if that'll work out for them or not.
That's a bit like a scam.
It could be a scam, and I think they were also offered they were able to pay in Divide coin, which is the latest token to be listed on PancakeSwap.
I want to invest immediately without knowing anything about the coin.
Yeah, it sounds like a really safe thing to invest in. And definitely, I won't do any research.
It's so reliable.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a good name.
I think I'm actually going to start that.
Yeah, you should.
We could pull an exit scam once we've got enough money together.
Yeah, just do a rug pull. Pull the rug from beneath their feet.
So yeah, match might be a bit delayed, but Gugli is here earlier than he promised, or than he said he would be. I think they'll just do some warm up and then we go straight in.
Maggly maggly.
Exactly, that's what he said as well. His name sounds like exactly like that. I forgot my list with anecdotes I tell when we have nothing to talk about.
You got a list of anecdotes?
Yeah.
Okay, go on, tell us one of the anecdotes.
It's, I haven't made one.
Oh.
I might make one. Would be quite funny to bring some cringy pre-written jokes.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that for sure. I'm just fiddling with my computer. 2 seconds.
But yeah, there will be a giveaway.
In any way.
Yeah, Divide finally decided to move to South Africa to join his rep queue. He commits, and he gave me his mention, which I'm gonna sell, and the first viewer who wins gets the giveaway will receive 50,000 euros.
You do realize that you said this on stream, right?
Yeah.
So that means that whoever wins the giveaway, you will have to give them 50,000 euros.
Exactly, that's a binding contract.
Damn. I'm glad I didn't sign any contracts.
Yeah, as soon as you get a contract with Twitch, as soon as you make an account and stream once, you've sold your soul.
Looks like we're going to a different server.
Yep, Kansas HQ.
Obviously the best server in the game.
Also not restarted since several days.
Oh shit, you should definitely give it a restart. We had a few problems on that server before, didn't we? I wonder if it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Give it a good restart and hopefully it should be okay.
Quickly restart the server.
Unfortunately, you did not see the names that I changed it into.
Look.
Which one?
The Helldongs and the Potato Grindwangs.
Ooh.
Pretty offensive. It's a good way to try and tilt the players, maybe.
There's nothing better than a tilted match.
Yeah. How's your tilt levels being divided? Because you've been known to be a bit of a tilt meister at times.
Exactly. I was very tilted in our game last week.
Really? Really?
Yes, I was really tilted. Yeah.
Amazing.
Especially in the second round.
We were the opposite of tilted.
I mean, some people just want to cheese their way to victory, and others want to win by a fair fight. You know?
So what was the cheese thing? Was that the jumping and dying thing?
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, that's
Yeah, I did that a
basically
couple of
taking
times.
away, take away a couple of
I
points.
thought it was. I did it. Do you know why I did it? I did it because I thought you guys would find it funny.
I didn't find it funny at all.
Especially you, actually, Divide.
I didn't find it funny at
Because
all.
we talked about it in. You probably don't remember, but we talked about it in. This, I think Gugli posted about it on the Discord.
Potato grindwangs.
Is it still up? I'm gonna change
Yeah.
it. There
It's
we
super funny though.
go.
You see? Tatzi likes it.
You're going to change it to the official names.
Yes.
Right.
Looks so professional now all of a sudden.
Electrino asks if I'm winning, son. And well, I'm neutral in this
Nice.
one.
Nice appropriate use of that meme. Let me just send us a few texts.
I think we are all winning. It's a winning stream.
Yeah, winning only.
So, do we have any predictions, guys?
Yes, I will predict that Helldads are going to win this, and I will consider it an upset. I think Gugli and Tatzi are the stronger team, because Gugli has so much firepower and Tatzi has all the strats. But Helldads have risen through the ranks, and I think they'll also win this one.
I think that Gugli's team are going to win.
And why?
It's a 50-50, so you just got to choose. I flipped a coin just now. Well, I flipped a mat. I've got literally no idea who's going to win. It's very... It's not necessarily based on the skill of the team is a factor, but it's not just the skill. It's also about the timing of the spawn points and things like that, and how they happen to land in the course of the match. It's very
Of
difficult
course,
to
yeah.
predict.
A lot of it has
And
to do
it's,
with luck, but if you had to pick one, who would you pick?
Yeah, I think I'll go with Gugli. He's got a great, really horrible poke and good movement. And I think Tatzi's the sort of strategic mastermind in the team, and he'll probably be calling a lot of the shots and keeping them in the game.
Okay.
What do you think the scores will be?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
I want to hear your pick first, right?
I think I'm going for Gugli and Tatzi as well. In my opinion, they are the strongest team left in the competition. Purely based on Gugli's firepower, as you mentioned. His skill is impeccable, and I think it's, along with Gog, one of the best players in the game. Tatzi is the tactical mastermind of the team, and that combined, I don't think any team can actually beat them right now.
So you think even your team
Yeah.
can't beat them?
I think our first win against them was very early in the tournament. They have grown a lot and I think it's going to be very hard to beat them. And
It's
I think,
a bit...
I think it
sorry.
will be a 2-1 for the
yeah,
Gugli,
nice.
Gugli and Tatzi.
It's a
think
bit
the
like you're
scores will be
trying to join the COC roster after the tournament.
Yeah,
Let's see what Gugli has to say about that.
bit of ass kissing.
Okay, they are restarting.
Do you
You
think
guys
the
haven't
scores
given
will
your
be close
predictions
to
yet.
5?
Yes, I do think so. It will be very close.
Can you set it to 250? Actually, I can just do it. There's a slight oversight there from muLeague, and I managed to save the day by changing to the correct score.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Here we go. 10 seconds until the first match of the semifinals. Lower brackets will start. It is the Potato Grindset against the Helldads, or the other way around. Helldads against the Potato Grindset, actually. First first map is the Bespin streets. And here we go.
Early fights, as is typical for teams nowadays. I think no one really settled for not fighting in the beginning.
So Gugli jumped. I thought he hit Hellgore there, but seemed to go through him.
Anyone got a hit on him as he's going to the east
It looked on my
courtyard?
screen like Gugli hit Hellgore, but it didn't seem to connect for some reason.
Oof. Tatzi did a dash away. He dashed into Daddywan, but didn't get hit there. That was pretty lucky. That is the most professional commentary we've had so far. Looks like muSe was doing something else.
Nice kill by Gugli.
And yep, Gugli got the first kill. Hellgore's low, and he killed him as well. That is a lead, early lead. Tatzi's being aggressive. He wants to die there, I think, because he's very low. And he just does. That means, oof, good hit on Gugli by Daddywan.
And that's probably where Gugli should play a bit more passive. He doesn't.
Still, it's getting great hits in.
Ah,
Here we go to the British courtyard.
he knew the point was going to change.
Very close so far. Oof. Hellgore and Daddywan are both low. Gugli's yet to die, and he does there. Jumps in, and he's probably gonna kill one in 2 seconds. 1, 2, and he doesn't. Better yet. There we go. Double kill. Daddywan and Hellgore spawn pretty close. Oof, great kill by Hellgore and Tatzi. And it's still very tight so far, just as you guys predicted.
Yep, they did a good prep, and the mental work helped a lot of them.
Hellgore, great kill on Tatzi. Managed to kill Hellgore with 1 hit while he was 50 HP, I guess. Here we
Decent
go
damage.
to the landing platform.
Yeah, decent damage before the next point, so Daddywan has to play more cautious.
Tatzi's very low though. And he dies. Oof. We just saw, I don't know, I forgot.
Yeah, he saw something, and it was
Yeah,
good.
it was very surprising, but for some reason, oof, great hit by Hellgore. not a great hit with Daddywan on Tatzi. Tatzi's running, waiting for Gugli to arrive. Good strategy by him. Very smart. As said, he's probably the smartest player in the league right now.
I heard his IQ is like 500.
Yeah. Daddywan and Hellgore are destroying it on the landing platform. They're pulling away right now. And we go to the FFA point. Luckily they're both low, that's in their favor. Because now they spawn really close. And they can just... Oof, Gugli immediately half shot Hellgore there when he was jumping in. This could be the way to pull back.
Yeah, it will be.
And there was a team kill, unfortunately, by the Helldads. That cost him, how many points is that, 7?
Yes, -7 for team kill.
Oof, and Hellgore is just jumping in the middle of them and getting hit each time. They had a 40-point lead until that spawn point there.
That's how quickly it can tilt.
Yep. And we're tied.
I was gonna say earlier, the Grindset are not in the right mindset yet when they didn't have the lead, but
This is a tough point for everyone. Everyone is low so far. And Hellgore goes in to die. And that means that the potatoes can potentially pull ahead. You can see Tatzi playing very passive, being in the background. And good kill by Hellgore there. Ooh, nice air hit by Hellgore on Gugli. He did not expect that at all.
just had a glitch on stream. Gugli's model completely evaded Hellgore's hits. As though he was cheating.
It's probably the case. The scripts didn't work.
They hired a programmer to invent some early cheats for Vertex. But enough with inventor, sorry. Nice pressure by the Grindset here. Really making space tight for. Fortunate rotation. Hellgore bumps into the wall. Gonna cost them.
That is.
But Tatzi also didn't make it.
Oof. This was the point where the Helldads pulled away last time to 40 points. Let's see if they can do it again. Both of them are low and now they have died. And it's still a 2v1. Oof, good kill by Hellgore and Gugli.
Certainly had the info that they are low.
Yes. Got a quick try to get a quick kill now, but Tatzi is pulling away. Now Gugli is here, he's trying to be a bit more aggressive. Oof. That was a team hit if I'm not mistaken.
And it looks a bit like things are starting to heat up. Everyone's doing a bit more of these more desperate hits. Maybe it's just my impression. Don't know if you also see that.
Yeah, it's I think they realize it's only 2 more minutes and it's still very close. This is the time when it's just 2 more minutes. You can't just go in and get the hits in, especially when you're in the lead. You have to be a bit more passive. The losing team has to be aggressive. You need to be passive if you're ahead. But it's so hard to do because you're so caught in a moment. Oof, a team hit by Hellgore on Daddywan. 10 points difference, ladies and gentlemen, with only 1.5 minutes to go. Oof. Clutch kill. Ooh, Gugli just almost one-shotted Hellgore there.
He kills
Here
him.
we go to the west courtyard. This was the point where the potato pulled it back. Let's see how they can do it now. They're only like a few points in the lead. Just 10 points, so 2 kills, and it's 1-1 again. Tatzi low, Gugli low. And here we go. Only 1 minute to go.
And so close. Who's gonna take this away?
I think dying now is vital. You need to stay alive.
Oh my god.
With 1 point. Yep, that's it. I
Nice
think
one.
that's the victory. Anything can still happen, but if yep, that's it. Clutch kills by Gugli there.
30 seconds still. If I get
Yeah.
two very quick kills and some points. Come on, Helldads. You can do it.
Shouldn't this game be replayed? Why should it be replayed?
They have high pings.
Damn.
But let's talk about this after the match, perhaps. Gog. Not during the match. So 7-point difference.
Super close.
Yeah, everyone has a high ping. Server might be
Maybe it's because the people who are here on the server who shouldn't be here need to leave.
I don't think so. Could be one of the reasons, but I think the provider is giving out a bit. I'm gonna put it on a list of bad providers. List.
I'm not going to respond to that comment.
Yeah, good idea to go to a different server. I think that's certainly a good idea for the future, but I don't think we should enforce anything right now.
Yeah, otherwise there's no reason to stream it, right? Anyone can just join the server.
Yes and no. It's a bit. I mean, we're mainly recording because we want the matches on tape. I think that's how Electrino started it. He didn't even want to stream necessarily, like talk and stuff. But yeah, we decided to take it a step further and stream. Maybe if it's becoming a thing, that's how it will be, like us streaming and then people not joining, having to join the servers. Yeah. And second map is Korriban. Good old trusted Korriban. Korriban, the Caribbean of Vertex.
Are we live yet?
Nope. But pinks have improved much.
Let's see what happens. It was an interesting match, only 7 points difference. I do feel that the Haldads were in a very slight disadvantage because of the pings. When I looked, they both had 100 ping, and the Grindset had still like 40-50 ping. So, yeah. But it looks like the Haldads are going to keep the score and try to come back the second round.
Very sportsmanlike. I like this.
Yep, me too. That means they should start with 10 points ahead this round.
Tatzi practicing suicides. Exploring new ways to exploit
cheese.
Game mechanics.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like we're going into the next one. So 30 seconds.
So, judging from the last game, I think this game will be just as close as the other one. It's all around playing around the points. I can't stress this enough. And here we go. 10 seconds, still we're live for round 2. It's 1-0 for the Potato Grindset.
Yes. Gugli looking for a fight and finding one. 1v2.
He got hit. Pretty hard so far. He's half HP. Trading some blows. Hellgore got hit by Tatzi as well, and the first point has not yet spawned.
Ah, confused me. Now
it has spawned now. Spawned in main. And teams are tied so far. Oof, nice air hit by Gugli there on Daddy. Daddy's being aggressive while playing 2v1. He knows that if I get hit once, I'll die. So maybe he wants to die before... yeah, not a great start. Oof, what a cool hit by Hellgore there. Haven't seen anyone using that hit so far.
He seems to really make that work.
Yeah. A lot of dodging going on. Ooh, Daddywan with a clutch kill there. He needs it. And he dies immediately after getting a clutch kill, where they could pull ahead in points, or pull back some points, actually. He unfortunately dies. Here we go to the throne room. Everyone's taking the normal route so far.
And Gugli trying hard to kill Hellgore in the transit.
Here we go. Daddy with some hits in on Tatzi. Hellgore and Tatzi both low. Gugli pretty low too. Nice kill by Gugli.
Amazing. Did you see that?
Yep. Yep. Hellgore did his patent move, and Gugli expected it and countered it with a very good air hit. I think there was some team damage there, if I'm...
Yep.
Hellgore and Daddywan are pulling it back slightly. It's just 16 points right now instead of 30 points. I'm going to the bottom side now. Everyone's trying to hit each other in the transit. Gugli trying to fight in the alcove, in the hallway.
Right.
Welcome back.
How are the games going? I brutally smashed the door into my wife, unfortunately, in the course of commentating. It's not a particularly good thing to do, but
Damn.
matters are resolved, and my wife is in good stead. So resume the commentary.
Nice, good to hear. Games are going good. First one was really close. 7-point difference.
Was it looking good and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, this is another close one.
Yeah, it was, I think, 7 points difference, and Potato Grindset took
Yeah.
it.
Clutch kill there, but oh
7
man.
points is amazingly close. I mean,
Each time the Helldads get an advantage, they throw it away immediately by dying after getting a clutch kill. They're so aggressive, while they should be way more passive when they have a
Yeah.
2v1 advantage.
I think as the game evolves, we'll see more refined play. I think it's a symptom of a game in development that people are just sort of testing the waters and trying things out and playing a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, there's really no reason actually to get much better. Of course, some people find that fun, but it's also fun
Yeah,
to
it
just
is fun.
jump around and slash without having to think of it.
It is fun, and there's a lot of fun in that kind of aggressive play as well.
Hellgore died twice by falling. And here he goes again.
Hellgore's going. He's taking another trip to the void. I didn't. Did they? Who said they chose this map then?
Yep,
The hell
they did.
They don't seem to be having too much success on it, just from my the tenure that I've viewed so far. Ah, thankfully they're not on the bridge anymore, so chances of
21 points they just
falling
lost.
into a hole are diminished.
21 points just by falling into the void.
Daddywan's doing pretty well on staff actually. Although Tatzi has his number there and gives him a solid smack on the noggin.
Again, Hellgore trying to do his move. Signature move. Oof. Good kill.
So
I'll
was
take
the
the
server
point.
behaving
Oh.
itself in the previous round?
No, it wasn't.
I see that they switched.
Yeah, everyone had a higher ping than usual. And the Danes had like 80, I think. And Potato Grindset had a 60 ping, which is not normal for the server.
Yeah, not so good. I did see a couple of ghosts just before I ducked out. But I wondered whether it was spectator lag or something.
Let's see if it works. Nope. Daddywan's taking not the shortcut. He's taking the long way. But arrives at the same time. Gets a hit on his teammate and then Gugli finishes it off.
I
60 points difference. It's not close at all right now.
I think the next tournament that I make, I'm going to do, if I do another one, I'll put a rule about max number of spectators. Maybe only streamers can spectate or something. To make, because it does change the stability of the server, doesn't it, when you have lots of people?
I think so, yeah.
It seems to.
But I think the ping was unrelated to that. It was just
that's
an
annoying.
additional problem.
Well, Gugli and Tatzi are having a great game.
Yeah, the Grindset is in the mindset now.
Did you have that
Yeah.
prepared in anticipation?
No, but I used it earlier in this. So.
Well, use it. I think you should use it again in the post-match as well. Give the viewers 5 minutes to forget that you said it. And then,
It's very
use it again.
unfortunate
It's a
though.
Good catchphrase.
I mean, if the Helldads played their 2v1 advantages way better, this match should be very close. and also they lost 21 points by just falling into the void. So add up those points, and it will be very, very close right now.
And you're saying the last
anything
round was
happens too.
basically anyone's game. It was a 7-point.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And it looks like
Tatzi's playing very well, I have to say. His staff timing's really improved over the course, actually probably of my tourney. Daddywan looks like he's still learning stuff, but he's got a few nice moves down.
Yeah, it's not as refined as Tatzi's.
Yeah, but he's basically
40
he's got
points
a sort of
difference.
spam heavy playstyle, which can work. You just have to be very mindful of how you're moving if you're going to spam that much.
Tatzi falling, delaying the win a bit. 1 minute left.
And kills Gugli. Ooh. Nice aerial from Tatzi, and then a kill on Hellgore.
Anything can happen on the bridge though, but there needs to be a miracle right now.
Maybe there'll be a pre-Christmas miracle in any way. I suspect this is probably a foregone conclusion, which will mean that Potato Grind Core, or was it Grindset? Potato Grindset are through. Yeah, Potato Death Metal are through to the next round against muSe, I think.
Nice.
Should be the lower finals.
15
And
seconds
the
to
winner
go.
will face League Sack.
Nice that we all
But
get
yeah,
a go at
Gugli
fighting him.
looking extremely good. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's worked out. I think the double limb worked out quite well in the end. Don't forget to get a screenshot.
Well, that's it then. I guess a 2-0 victory for the Potato Grindset. Move on to the lower bracket finals against muSe, which will be played at a later stage, I think.
Yeah, exactly. You guys didn't have time, right?
Yeah, what today? No. Cossacks isn't around. It'll be probably, I think, possibly Tuesday. First round, gosh, that really was close. Look. Wow, Gugli was really, I mean, 787 net damage is really high. I think that's the second highest. I think the two highest so far net damage scores have both been from Gugli of the matches in the tournament.
It's crazy. He just does it all the time. He's so consistent.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You hardly see Gugli having a bad game.
I think never really. Okay, well that's really interesting.
That means 2 more matches to go.
Almost there. God, it's been a bit of a slog from the organisational standpoint. But
Well, just last week really.
It's
The rest
getting
was
there.
very, very smooth.
oh, there was a lot that went
Quickly.
into that, unfortunately. Gugli's asking if we can schedule already. He's not actually available, no.
If you guys can play Tuesday, I think we can play the finals on Tuesday as well, because I should be available. Unless there's Champions League. Priorities, man. I think there's
Yeah,
Champions
he's
League.
got to watch the Champions League.
Hello, how are you?
Hey.
Hi.
Hey
Are
man.
you still doing the post-game talk?
Yep.
Kind of,
I
yes.
thought you might want to do an interview with me.
Do you want to force us
Magnanimous.
to interview you?
Well, I really like the approach to do an interview after the game, so I want to be available for it.
Yeah, it's
So how-
fine. What did you think about your match against Zeldas?
I am honest, I was a bit shaky today. I didn't feel very concentrated, so I was relying completely on Tatzi-Tatz doing the calls, and he did a fabulous job. So I was basically going into a tunnel where I'm just seeing the opponents, and I made a lot of mistakes. I think we lost about half of our points to make an exaggeration because I was stepping out of the circle. So from our perspective, it was a bit shaky. But we were lucky that we had the first round in the pocket, and then I think our momentum drove us to the second victory because Daddy and Hellgore maybe were a bit nervous after losing the first round, and that paid in our favor.
So do you think their playstyle was different noticeably in the second match?
Electrino told me that Daddywan and Hellgore had tactics to approach the game, so I think they had a game plan. To be honest, I wasn't quite on my focus, so I didn't figure out entirely what their approach was. But we had tried to come up with a counter approach. So Tatzi-Tatz was trying to get the attention of Hellgore, so I can make use of Daddywan's aggressiveness. So Daddy has played quite aggressive, and we were trying to punish Daddywan's aggressiveness. That was but I'm not sure what their game plan was, to be honest.
When did you realize that the first one was going to be really close, and what did you try to do against it?
Actually, I think kill-wise it was looking quite good right from the get-go, and we should have capitalized on it, but it was me who was playing sloppily, leaving the circle, not making great use of our kills, dying at the wrong moment, and that's why we fell behind a bit. And I think in comparison to how we normally react, we kept calm. Usually when we fall behind 20-30 points, we get a little nervous. This time we still believed we had it in our pocket, so basically we stayed calm, although I was a bit distracted.
There was one point in a match where, especially in the first round, where the Helldads, they moved away 40 points. I think that was at the landing platform in the middle of the match. They got some great back-to-back kills on you and moved ahead 40 points. But the point switched to the FFA point at the West score chart, and there the roles turned around. What did you do to make that happen, to get that comeback going?
We have the strategic approach to decide how to play on FFA points, which approach we pursue and how we set it up. I mean, you can't plan every swing or how you do it, but we have a concept, and we deliberately decided that we would play like that on that point. It wasn't by chance. Maybe some kills were by chance. Obviously, we are not that good, but there was some thinking about it, how we could turn it around. Or I wouldn't say it was like a plan B. It was just our overall approach which worked out. We were confident in what we planned beforehand.
Nice.
Another question. You said that you were shaky, both in those, especially the first round. But in both rounds, you had above 700 net damage. So that doesn't sound shaky to me, since you're the player with the highest net damage in the game.
Well, perhaps
in
that
the
is
tournament so far.
Perhaps that's actually the secret to the high net damage. Just be shaky and.
A shaky
That's why
hand.
you need a
and then get
soundboard,
ropes.
Lee.
Got him.
Sure why it's working out, but from my introspection, from my self-perception, my placement, my spacing wasn't ideal. I took a lot of hits that I shouldn't have taken if I had observed the opponents better. I guess my way to deal with it was just to try to deal as much damage as I could, and apparently I had the better trades, but if I had played better, if I had been more concentrated, I would have taken less damage. So when I talk about being shaky, I think my timing wasn't right today.
Right.
Maybe it was because I was doing more duels lately. I was training a lot with Gog. I mean, what does training with Gog mean? Getting slaughtered by Gog and trying to learn from it.
Yeah, as that we noticed in the R2v2 the other day.
Yeah.
One final question, at least for me. you've moved on to the finals of the lower bracket, facing muSe. How is your mindset going into that match?
Well, we have quite some respect for
It'll be fun.
the team.
I didn't ask
We
you,
don't
Muse.
want to underestimate anybody. And I believe that we can have a good match. I would say that Tatzi and I, we are the underdogs a bit, because muSe and Cossacks have been performing so consistently. So maybe we have to be strategically creative to deal with it. But as usual, the first round you have to feel the water with your toes. First impression to see how it goes. Maybe we have a strong day. Maybe muSe and Cossacks have a weak day, and that's basically. Now my doorbell is ringing, as you hear in the background. Lately, my wife is attending it, but yeah. I think it will be an awesome match. I hope so, that we won't be beaten like 200 to 100 or 300 to 100. I hope we can.
I think you guys have a very good chance of beating us. Also, I think the mentality is massively important in this. I find that when I've had a tiring day or something and play a few matches, it makes a very big difference to my performance.
I completely agree, and I have been working until 5 minutes before the match, and I think that's why I'm shaky today, because I'm not in the mood. I was paying attention to content of my work, and that's why I say I'm shaky. Yeah. But the game is very psychologically. I think Daddywan and Hellgore had a good chance at beating us. If they had won the first round, they had a good chance at getting the second round, but we could just steamroll based on this 7-point difference in the first round.
Yeah, it was a massive shift in terms of I'm presuming the mentality of the two teams. It did seem like a big shift after a 7-point win, which is quite annoying. I mean, if you win by 7 points, it means that it was anyone's game, really. And if you lose by 7 points, it's totally irritating, which then put you on tilt for the second
I'm
game.
not sure whether the two of them had been in voice call. If they have not been, that might have been the deciding factor, because if you're together, you can immediately get some cognitive strategy to cope with a defeat, and then you come up with a new motivation. But if you're not, then you're just alone. And from my perspective, I believe that if you lost the first game and you feel you have responsibility, you will try to take more risks second round, and that exposes you to counters.
That is exactly what happened, because if you look at the first match, Daddywan and Hellgore, they played really as a team. They played strategically around the points. That is what got them a big lead at the end, which you pulled back in the before mentioned FFA point. But in the second round, I noticed that each time they got a clutch kill on one of you, they immediately went fighting 2v1 instead of pulling it back, waiting while they were very on low HP. And that resulted in them dying and not gaining any points, because it was a 1v1 situation then. And dying on the bridge doesn't help either. So I think all those factors combined just gets you on tilt, and the mentality is a very big game changer.
I believe I agree, and I would even say, as you might have seen in the second round, I was trying to do some kills off circle. I was trying to engage with them on the way there, and I think that's also not only because I'm seeing red and I'm trying to be cocky. Of course, that's a part of it, but the other part is that you can destabilize the tactical approach of your opponents if you try to do something, I don't want to say off meta, but off the usual routine to approach the point and only fight at the circle.
It's nice to see that you're already way too deep into the mind games.
Yeah,
I think this game is a game of mind games.
He is absolutely right though, because it threw, I think it was Hellgore off when you were hiding behind the corner. He didn't expect you at all there.
It's always a joy for me when that happens. I'm completely addicted to this sneaky approaches. You might not find it very knightly or honorably, but it's it's bringing me a lot of joy.
It's not as bad as getting a fall damage death.
Yeah, but I think all of these things this is how you win. This is how you win this game. Because why would you bother taking a risk clashing someone when there's always a chance that you might lose it if you've slightly messed up your timing or whatever the reason is, angle's not right. When you can get free damage on someone, when you backstab them or when you catch them somewhere in an unusual place, or take advantage from a bug or whatever, that's what a pre-alpha game looks like in a competitive scene.
It's a question of creativity for me. I mean, that's a justification. If you ask me why are the potatoes being so cheeky about the game approach, I believe it's actually a game, and I mean, there's no money on the line. We can explore what's possible in the game, and for that you have to think outside of the box. I don't want to give too much praise for this approach. Of course, sometimes it's just me trying to get as many kills as possible because it's bringing me joy. But then again, for example, we have talked about it before on the Discord, the suicide you just mentioned, the fall damage suicide. I feel that's thinking outside of the box, even if it's a bit dirty, but I appreciate the, how do you say it, the clever use of game mechanics.
True.
Yeah.
I agree completely. It's if it's not against the rules, then you should exploit it. However, I would not feel comfortable winning a game using those mechanics, but that's a choice that I make as a player, and other players make different choices.
Even though you did do it, I'm pretty sure I remember you doing that.
I did it because you did it 3 times. Yeah.
I want to add to that.
I did it as a joke because I knew Divide would find it annoying, so I kept doing it.
Deliberately.
I need to emphasize that that Tatzi was doing this creative move, and after seeing the controversy about it, he decided not to do it again. So it's not like we want to be the bad guys of.
I won't do it again. We'll take our
Obviously,
next match seriously. We won't be doing it again either.
Obviously, you can do it, man. It's not against the rules. It's a choice, but I think it's, in my opinion, it's cheesy. I prefer not to win like that, especially in close matches.
Yeah.
I tried to.
We'll take it seriously next time, Divide. Don't worry.
No,
I tried
it's
to
still a
counter
very-
cheese.
very
We won't
valid
do it, we
tactic.
won't do it.
I'm just saying that
I,
I wouldn't use it.
Yeah, I
There's
tried to
so much
counter
more to
cheese
explore.
by. I want to say
Just
this.
to give an example,
Please.
I mean, when there's bridge on Korriban, you can try to jump below the opponent so he slides off your head and falls into the abyss. I mean, and we can't pull it off regularly yet, but once or twice I've seen it work. So
Yeah, there will be
that's-
glitches. There will be glitches. I think that's a topic we can talk about for hours. I was gonna say when muSe did the jumping, falling thing, I deliberately switched to duels in the second game and started
and then
abusing.
did the duels exploit,
Yeah. So
which was really funny.
I think it was a back and forth, really.
Yeah,
It's a
we were
topic.
having a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, a topic
As well.
can talk about for hours and turn in circles. But
Yeah, definitely.
question of the code of conduct. There's something implicit, like don't be overly passive. I'm not talking about running away, but if you're in a duel, especially 1v1, the current game setup is a bit, it punishes low jumps and offensive parts sometimes in duels, and so you could. That's what I'm calling the heat death of the universe. If just the two players, I mean, maybe they're swinging yellow swings, but they won't approach. So it takes somebody losing their patience or having the courage or whatever, but maybe that's. I always like this thought experiment, and I've discussed about it on the Discord. What if two perfect AIs were fighting one another, but they are standing still because nobody wants to make the first move? And that's like there's some code of conduct where we're just players playing, having fun. So I don't think when we call it abuse, it's the right thing, because abuse sounds like a bad intention. It's just playfulness.
yeah, it was a
there are
good
tactics
intention. You
like-
tried to gain points for your team, so
Yeah, and there are things like running, some people when they get low in the rounds, maybe there's 30 seconds left in the round or something, and they'll just jump around and not, try not to die, which is a completely fine tactic, But you could consider that in exactly the same way if you wanted.
Yeah, but then again,
It's on the
imagine
same
it being
spectrum.
football, right? And you're ahead against a strong team. Does that mean that you can't play defense the last few minutes of the game?
I think you're expanding it, and also just you're bringing in a different sport as well. I don't know the rules of football.
Perhaps
Well, I know the rules of football, but I don't know well enough to be able to comment.
perhaps we should discuss that in the Discord if you want to in depth. Probably not a
Well
good
done.
good
Good
one
moderation.
for live discussion.
Well moderated.
Yeah, but it's very enjoyable, this tournament. I really was looking forward to this match. I think it was a good match. We were a bit lucky here and there, but I'm also looking forward to the next match and hope that muSe, you and Cossacks can make it soon.
Yeah, I'm just writing to Cossacks now, actually, just to organise something as soon as we can. But we'll definitely be done by, I think, probably mid next week. We'll be wrapped up, which would be great. And Gugli, I don't know if you wanted to comment on any future events that might be coming up.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's kind of already outside. The info is already in the community to some degree, but sometimes in the internet redundancy is important, and you should communicate things over and over again.
Oh,
So
definitely.
yeah, after this tournament, I would say the day after the finals or so, we will open the registration for the 1v1 tournament, which will last about the same amount of time. The last time we did 1v1 tournaments, we were going for 9 days, which is starting on a Friday, then 1 week plus 2 weekend for 2 days of the weekend for the finals. But even if it takes longer like this one, it's completely alright. And yeah, it will be a 1v1 tournament. I will update all news on the Discord. I mean, we, the organizers of the Discord, will update, and that will be the tournament that happens before the second season of our Control League.
Which has become the sort of focal point of the competitive seasons, I think, or seems to, the Control League, because it involves so many different players.
I hope we establish it like a baseline, like something, you know, why, like every nation has its football league, and then they meet to do Champions League or World Cup, and so the regular day-to-day work is for the players is the league, and that's how I would like to see it.
Yeah, I like it. The German people having the great picture in mind. Certainly nothing that could go wrong there. But yeah, it's a great outlook, I think.
There's gonna be a lot of Vertex competitive attention as long as the patches work and there's not a patch which inhibits our competition. We will continue. I mean, Clyde will certainly hotfix anything, but it's looking really good right now, and the game is very enjoyable.
Yep, agree.
It's fun, and we're getting a lot of nice. We're getting lots of nice anecdotal data. I don't know what you'd call it, Gugli, but just from some of the comments that players are making during the course of the tournament, it's quite interesting fuel for discussion and balancing. I think I think that was one of the big goals I had in mind for this event, was to foster discussion about the state of balance in the game.
We have
this entire organization is an awesome platform for it. That's why I joined for this interview, as I called it, just to talk to you.
I think that the interview is long
you're
done.
Getting to know the community also. We're hearing the voices. That's very nice.
Yeah, interview's long done. We've transitioned into a podcast, which is also nice. We have one viewer question or comment. Yoda says, just make the game favorize more aggressive style, please. I think...
Yeah, that would be awesome.
We're not the devs, but...
I'm biased.
Yeah. We're not the devs, but I think especially... I mean, all of us have to say something about it, but what do you think about it, Gugli? I think you had something to say about it, right?
I certainly do have to say something about it. It was actually when I joined the Discord server. I didn't use Discord before playing Vertex, but I joined it, and the first discussion I partook in was about this fundamental question, which I always refer to as design philosophy. And there you can design a game towards aggressivity. I would say let's take Tekken or these other 2 or 2.5D fighting games, where it's very difficult to have defense, and you're basically always there's always an incentive to be aggressive. And then there are other games which are tending towards passivity, and they are punishing aggressiveness, but you don't want to be too much on the one or the other side. If the game is losing the balance, then it feels wrong. It's too easy to get kills, there's too much trading. And I think this is one of the discussions we should have right now. For example, Dizon was talking about clash radius. So this will impact how much trading there is. If the clash radius is bigger and there are occurring more clashes, or if the clash threshold is bigger, there will be more ties, which means there's less trading. And when there was the introduction of this feature into the balancement in spring, then we basically had two parts of the community. One part of the community said it's awesome that we are clashing more, and the other was we are clashing too much. And it's important to see that there won't be a setup of the game where everybody is happy. But I think it's this difficult point to find between passivity and aggressivity. You can't support both at the same time, and you shouldn't support only one of the two. You should always try to find a good balance.
Yeah, I think that there should always, both styles should always remain valid and agreeable styles that actually work. If you can play passive and it's successful, but you can also play in an active manner and it's also successful, and I think the balancing work has been done very well. I think the options should be for either style.
That's what they mean by freeform. I hope they mean it. When the game is called a freeform game, then there should be ways. I mean, Tatzi, when he started playing the game, he was trying to block only all the time. He didn't go for winning clashes, which should be an approach. So it should not be like when sometimes I've been playing Hearthstone, this card game, and it feels like the developers design the card releases so that a certain type of card deck will appear. And I don't feel like this is good design, because it should create a free space where people can be creative without enforcing or suggesting one or the other playstyle. There should be a couple of moves, even if they appear useless on first sight, they can maybe be discovered as some strategy.
I think that can be a difficult thing, and but I also think that Clyde said, what was I gonna say? You didn't really understand or support the discussion around clashing, because he was of the opinion that you should win by movement and not by clashing. So he probably doesn't think that winning a clash is a legit strategy you should go for most of the time. Also, I wasn't. I hope I didn't misrepresent him there, but I think that was the gist of what he said.
I can see how that argument works, and it's certainly worthwhile considering. But it's again game philosophy, design philosophy. What do you want your players to be like? There was a similar discussion, very funny actually, where Leduc, the French guy, he said, why do we have the boomer vision feature where every saber appears luminescent, but he said, maybe I want to sneak, maybe I want to do backstab kills because the other guy didn't see me, so I want my saber to be like a chameleon, to adapt to the background. So this was again a design decision, and I think it's a good decision that we don't have this this game to be about signal detection. You don't want your opponent is there, and it's more like chess than it's like hide and seek. It shouldn't be a hide and seek game, but that's a design decision. Just timing versus.
And actually, we laughed at the time, but I think the Duke was completely within his rights to suggest something.
Yeah,
like
obviously.
That. When you have a moniker like Freeform Combat, you're inviting pretty much anything you feel like is an effective form of combat.
I agree.
So I think we should discuss it, and that's what's nice about the Discord, is that we discuss it and come to some sort of, not a conclusion always, but some sort of some point to discuss, and then we take something further, and we get more and more clearer picture of what the game might look like in the long run.
There's this other argument saying if you create too much creative space, it will be overly complex. Maybe
Yes.
you're thinking of a game like Path of Exile, where you can create literally infinite builds. Some might work better than others, but at least the game is so complex that it can't even be optimized with an algorithm or anything like it. So I would suggest that the developers should not be too afraid of complexity, even though it might cost a little intuitiveness, but it's a trade-off. There certainly is a point where the game could be too complex to be enjoyable.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree. But I think, how do you feel about this patch versus the previous one in terms of just feel? Do you think it feels closer to what you had in mind?
Well,
this is a personal thing, right? No, I don't mean in any grand sense.
I have to take care that I am not too that I'm impartial on this question, because I have designed a part of it, the clashing algorithm. So my focus was, and my hope was, that I didn't fail, that it wasn't a failure what I created. And in the first week or so, I saw some critical voices. They said, well, this clashing is unreliable, but I think they just had to get used to it. And now, when I played against Gog in the last days, he won most clashes against me, and this is a good thing for me because I know it's reliable. Some person who has a good perception, good timing, nice reaction skills, he can reliably win clashes. And I think that should be the aim of the clashing system. So, since the changes of the last patch concerned the clashing system in the first place, I think this worked out. It took a while to get used to it, but it's not chaotic. And when it comes to the other changes, like to movement, I kind of miss low jump D being easy, but maybe that's just the case, like we discussed the other day, that I need to learn the circle jumping to get some speed.
I think you do. I think you can get equally as far or fast, or at least to a lot of the degree than it used to be before. Just have to practice a bit and then make it a habit. And I think it will be more enjoyable if you hit really good hits with it than before, because people will recognize your skill or the work you put in or whatever.
And that's why I'm willing to give it a chance. I think that it might have become a bit more difficult, but that could be a good thing, because it was too easy to do efficient low jumps with a D-swing before, and now it takes technique and maybe timing, better placement, maybe better decision making. And in my book, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I like it because I've been able to kind of understand a bit better the clashing stuff and actually beat other stuff in a fairly consistent manner, which has been nice, because the previous patch, it was completely random whenever I played, or it felt completely random, probably because I didn't have the right type of knowledge. But whenever I played Starfy stuff, it felt very difficult to predict what was going to happen, unless I obviously surprised someone or got them with an aerial or something. But
yeah,
I didn't want to rely on that completely.
The last patch and the second last patch were both like it, and I now understand, looking at the values, at the raw data values before normalization, I understand why it happens, because they are all over the place. But now it should be better. Another thing is, when I started discussing the game on Discord about half a year ago or a bit more than it, I always said the game shouldn't be what I call the D-swing fiesta, which is, it had been in the past, and now I'm seeing, especially in duels, but not so much in team matches, but especially in duels, I see the variety. Especially when fighting Gog, who is of course the benchmark of skill at the moment, but he's using A swings, AS swings, all kind of swings in a similar fashion, and I've been seeing league men doing really nice overhead swings. So what I'm looking for is variety in the swing behavior, which is a good thing, and the patch has helped. I think the patch has helped.
Definitely. I've started slowly integrating a few more different staff angles. Some of the animations are a little bit unwieldy to time. but I've started adding a few more into my arsenal as well, because you can reliably work out which hits have, you know, if they might have a small timing window but then a high velocity, for instance, which has a particular advantage, but also some disadvantage as well. So
I
trying to
think
work out contextual reactions.
There's one more
selection
issue.
of different moves.
There's another design issue which I found to be relevant to something Gog has said when he played a round of Control the other day. He was just playing, I don't know, I think with some of you he was playing 3v3 just before the match between you guys. And
Oh, yeah.
afterwards I talked to him about it and he said it feels like a clusterfuck. And I think that might be because he hasn't played enough, and I told him so. But there's one side to it, which is how precise can you be, and how chaotic is it? So what is the ceiling of precision in the game? Because maybe it's too little clashing, too little ties, so chaotic behavior, overly erratic movement is rewarded too much at the moment. Difficult to say. I think that's what Dizon and Atmafi were trying to pinpoint with the changes, because when they played Control or Team Deathmatch with us, they noticed that chaos is rewarded too much. There's not much footwork in these game modes.
I'm not sure if that's true. I think we'd have to play way more than this, and it's also a good thing that we play all these tournaments and these kinds of things, because I think we just don't know yet. Everyone felt like the 3v3s.
I think my gut feeling with
Sorry.
antithesis of what JKA combat was about. Sorry, League.
I think I've.
Should I finish, or do you want to?
I think I've a bit of connection problems. Yeah, I think everyone thought it was very chaotic, the 3v3s at the beginning of the league, and then I think we settled down a bit and started to work out tactics and how to do things and stuff. I think we have to gain more experience before adjusting to something that we don't know what it is yet, or to make actual changes based on not enough experience.
Yeah, I think there's 2 points I wanted to raise in response to that. The first of which was the fact that if you remember on JK, which is our completely mad, people just running in, attacking each other and desperately trying to get kills. And then as time went on, and you perhaps, well, at least in my case, when I became more experienced and then, you know, played on ESL and this sort of stuff at a higher level, there were hardly any kills. And that was the reason for that was just the experience of the players, better at dodging, which meant and dodging by the way, dodging is a massive element in JK, and that's why there were hardly any kills. You wanted to practice your dodging the most. Actually killing people loads wasn't really as valuable a skill as being able to evade people. You know, on good TFFA teams there were invariably people who basically were very elusive but could consistently land chipping hits. Not necessarily kind of people who were constantly killing people the whole time. So I think that's the first point, which is that there's a little bit of bias in terms of the history of this game, that we don't have much history. So it's difficult to judge the chaos feature at this point. And then the second point I wanted to raise was the fact that as another JK related one, in Control you're playing these small circles, which is the total opposite of what you expect in JK, which was using the space. Oh, you always have these kind of spacious arenas for combat, really. The only exception being when we would play on the Bespin courtyard map, I think it's called, which is a smaller map, which we used to use a lot for 2v2s and duels. But we're not used to this at all yet. Using such a small space and playing with precision is really difficult. Your footwork has to be much more restrained, because you're moving quite fast as well, especially on this patch. You have to be simultaneously worrying about hitting your teammates and making sure that you've got right distance from them, whilst also keeping eyes on the enemy to make sure you don't get surprised and that you're able to connect with your hits. So I think it naturally lends itself to chaos as we're trying to work it out, because there's no really established tactics. There's teams like League Sack that have practiced different strategies and things, but there's still an element of chaos, I think. I don't know, you might disagree, League and Divide, but I think that there's still an element of chaos in those games. I don't think we're well practiced enough.
Of course. But
it's working in such a small space. But I think it's the space that's the key thing in Control.
Yeah, it will always be this way, I think. And it's also what will keep the game interesting, because if it becomes chess, then we might as well just play chess instead of this game. I mean,
I see that, but I think there will be more refinements and improved precision as the game gets played more, especially the game type. I mean, we've only got our small community, a handful of players playing Control regularly at this point.
If I can make a point, I think if you play Control, I think the game mode, it will be very hard to get aggressive playstyle in that one, because if any game you play for points, there will always be a passiveness about it, especially if you're in the lead. I think it's just the game mode. If you play TFFA, it's different, because you can have like a set of kills. You need to get to 20 kills. You might not get a time limit there, or maybe you do, but if you do not have a time limit, then that means that you have to play aggressive, because otherwise you will never get the points. But if you have a Control mode where you stand in a circle where you earn points, especially if you have the majority in the circle, that always will lead to a certain passiveness of playstyle.
Yeah, but I guess you could also say technically that if you were rewarded for really aggressive play and you were, by being aggressive, you were killing consistently and creating majorities and accruing points quickly, then that would also that's the kind of other way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Daddywan agrees with you, Divide. Yoda in the chat is actually Daddywan.
Also agree on all your analyses, especially considering what I've been calling in the past the development of a meta, or something like a general game approach, which is common knowledge among the established players. And from my observation, the knowledge promulgates in the community, and the reality of it is that with every patch there's a rollback, a rollback of the meta. So you have seen in the last patch quite refined techniques and customs on how to play, and the changes that are applied every patch are so fundamental that you're learning the game anew. And the tendency of this rollback is to return to very, very typical techniques. So when the new patch comes, we will see more D-swings, and after a while we will see more alternative approaches. Yeah. But in Jedi Knight, in JK, we had a decade to develop this meta, and in Vertex we have maybe 2 or 3 months. Then everything changes fundamentally again, at least for the last month or so. And considering Divide's point, I think I need to quote again what Gog has said. He said that Control mode is not a good game mode because people will always go for the weakest opponent. They will single him out, and then they will just do the heat death of the universe for the rest of the match. I think the empirical reality doesn't prove him right, but there is something to it, and it has been also visible in the tournament that there's decision making because of this compressed space that is pushing somebody into a corner, forcing him to make a mistake, and possibly it will rather be the weaker player. And yet again, I don't think this is a problem because strategies will revolve around it. They will develop around it. and people will understand how to compensate and how to make tactical decisions. But understanding the fundamental base setup, the reality, leads to understanding how strategy develops.
Yeah, very well put. I
And
think
again,
yeah, I sorry, I have to do a bit of moderation. I've had several disconnects now. I think stream quality is going down a bit. Perhaps if we could have some closing statements or a wrap up or summary, and then we'll wrap the stream up afterwards. I'm really sorry. It's I think it's not much enjoyment for anyone if you guys keep cutting out and stuff. Perhaps
Gotcha.
don't know, one
Well,
or
what I-
two closing statements.
Well, that victory means that we've got the lower finals, which looks like we might be, if you're free on Tuesday, I think that's looking like it could work at about 7 o'clock. Lower finals will be Potato Grindset versus muSe, the winner of which will then fight a best of 5 in the finals against LeagueSac 1. And now if the challenger beats LeagueSac 1 in the first round, that means there'll actually be a grand finals, which will also be best of 5. So we'll see how it all goes, but we might be in for another 3 matches to go, and we'll be done by the end of next week. Thanks everyone for who's taken part in the tournament so far. I know there's been tedious moments and a few disappointing things, but overall I'm quite pleased with how the engagement has been and how things have panned out. So yeah, thanks everyone.
Nice. I certainly like to partake in it. Gugli, any last statement?
I think that was already a perfect way to finish.
Nice.
I can barely add anything but to thank you this again for this platform. I really enjoy listening to your comments, and when I play myself, I sometimes open it up just to hear what you have to say about it. It's very curious to hear your analysis, so thank you for your time.
Nice, good to hear. Divide, are you still with us? Do you want to give a last statement?
You're still with us.
Is he gone?
Sorry,
Absolutely.
that's usually you say that to someone when you think they're dead.
Oh fuck. Shit.
I
It's
am
what a
dead,
medium
yeah.
says.
I
in a
completely
seance.
Yeah, sorry. I'll remember that. Would you do the honors and do you want to do the honors and do a nice outro?
Honestly, I cannot top what muSe said. But if I had to, I'd give it a try. Thanks everyone for joining in. Without you, the players and the viewers of the Vertex community, we could not do what we are doing right now.
Yeah. Thanks for the monetary support. We would be living in dumpsters.
Was giving an outro and then you had to interrupt me.
Sorry. Deep
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I was having